It's the third Saturday of the month, which means we're here to talk about our latest Game Club game. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Wait, it's Saturday?
Yeah.
Are we sure? I don't know anymore.
I'm not sure. Time is a flat circle, and we're also joined by Musum.
Hello.
We're here to talk about our latest Game Club game, Poi. P-O-I, Poi. Let's get all the background stuff covered here at the beginning. Released February 1st, 2017, and consoles kind of came out later that year, staggered. Developed and published by Polykid. Came out on PC, OS X, Linux, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Time travel, Metacritic 65, OpenCritic 80. The disparity there is because there is Poi, and then there's Poi Explorers Edition for the Switch, and one site lumps them all together, and the other site doesn't. So
does the Switch one get the higher ratings by any chance?
It does not.
Oh, wow.
For some weird reason, everyone's like, it came on PC and it's great, everybody loves it. It came on Switch, screw this trash. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, you know why?
Weird.
It came out on a Nintendo console.
Right, like it's trying to...
Let's take a look at what the direct influences for this game are a little bit later on, shall we?
Yeah, exactly. I totally forgot to do Pierce release date, so some other great games came out at the same time. So we asked the regular question we do every single month. Was this game top of the pile, middle of the pack, or overlooked? I feel like this is probably a pretty easy one.
Nobody talked about this. The only reason this made it into the list is because I caught a quick look on Giant Bomb. I mean, come on.
Yep. Yeah.
So I could not search. So I purchased this on Switch. I could not find it on the Switch store and had to Google it and buy it digitally that way.
Oh, weird.
My Xbox version calls it the Windows 10 edition.
For once, I did not have a hard time finding this on the PS4 store. The one game. So yeah, definitely an overlooked game, and that answered my next question, which was what platforms we were playing on. So let's dive into the game itself, what we liked, what we didn't like. Who would like to go first?
I'd like to go first. I can go first, mostly because I want to throw out a shout out to the Bamfcast here, because years and years and years, the Bamfcast have been making the same joke over and over again. You recycle jokes frequently, guys. It's fine. I like it. It's fine.
I mean, we do too, so, you know.
Yes. They talk about Kick-Ass and they talk about Super.
Okay.
The movies. Kick-Ass and Super. Two separate movies. One's got Ellen Page in it. And they constantly refer to Super as an indie Kick-Ass, because it is.
Okay. I'm
going to be referring to this game from here on outwards as an indie Mario 64.
It 100% is.
It's exactly what it is.
Pretty much.
It's really interesting because the first time you do that triple jump, you're like, oh, and then you like accidentally do the backwards jump or like the side jump, and you're like, aha, I see the blueprint that you have. It's not a bad thing. It's just very much like, here is Mario 64, and here is our blueprint. We're going to put that in the sky. It's like, okay.
So how do you... I never figured out how to do the triple jump.
It's all timing.
Yeah, it's just the timing like the Mario 64 one.
But
gotcha. So to be clear...
You have to be moving forwards when you're doing it. You can't stand still and do it. It has to be a forward momentum thing.
Yeah, I don't... so to be clear, I did not like Mario 64.
Okay.
Hot takes from the crowd.
I generally don't like platforming games in the Nintendo style, and I don't mean that as disparaging Nintendo. I mean, I don't want things hurting me climbing. I'm more there for like the spectacle, like an Uncharted or Assassin's Creed.
Gotcha.
So entering this game, I knew it wasn't my thing, so I went in with the thoughts of, okay, I'm just going to try and grade this on what I think people will like about it, and kind of went from there. And I mostly kept myself from hating it that way. But Mario 64, I think I've spent a grand total of an hour with, and mostly it was me deciding that I didn't want to play that game. So,
right.
Wow.
Right. So, how do you feel about Poi, knowing that you don't enjoy the framework, like the blueprint of this game.
I feel that people who like the Nintendo platformer games will like Poi. I think
Yeah.
so the things that stick out that kind of hurt my gaming experience were like the lava world. Oh great, we're gonna randomly have meteors fall from the sky while you're trying to platform above
Yeah.
lava. Like that was
Not
not
great.
fun for me. I did not enjoy having to jump on enemies multiple times.
Hmm.
Which other people might. Like sometimes you could get it in a rhythm where it would stay in one place and that was fine. But like the gophers that threw the rocks, like
Oh God.
when that rock became damaging was always an issue.
Yep.
Like because sometimes I'd jump on them like the second it became a damage item instead.
Yeah.
But I think like in terms of if your goal is to go to like a 3D kind of Nintendo 64-ish looking world and just have an open romp around and collect medallions, I think this is a perfect game for you. Uh, and I
Yeah.
didn't I spent a surprising amount of time with it for a style of game that is not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. I think this is Poi is really interesting because it very much is a classic 3D platformer. I mean, when you think of something like the Banjo games, the Mario 3D games, maybe up until recently where they've gotten a little bit away from Mario 64, I mean, it feels very much the same, in the same vein in a way that I think, Musim, you're bringing up a great point where it's like, if you like these games, it's an easy recommendation, but if you don't, it's not different enough that it's going to be revolutionary.
Yeah.
And I recognize I'm in the minority with these tastes, so I'm going to try to be as polite as possible.
So, out of curiosity, are you in the minority for all of your tastes? Because you hate Mario 64, you're obsessed with Gundam, you're a JRPG nut. It feels like you're literally the dark side to Two Faces coin.
So I'm not a complete contrarian. I love Skyrim, right? The Elder
there you
Scrolls
go.
games. So, and I've really enjoyed this latest, not the latest, but I've enjoyed playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and I'm probably going to pick up Odyssey before the end of the month because I think it's on, I think they have the gold edition on sale for $30 or something.
Yes, and you should.
Like
it's a great game.
There are popular games I like.
Right.
And it is wonderful when the rest of the world likes them, and when the rest of the world doesn't, I just usually accept my place, and sometimes you get a bitter Twitter rant out of me or something.
Right.
But
So tell me all about Warframe. I'm kidding.
Oh man. So I finished the game completely. I got the Milky Way orb. What was
Stone.
Milky Way stone in 6.5 hours? Moon,
Did
did you finish it?
The game completely. And I don't buy that, and I'm going to have to pause right now because my monitors are frozen. So I know you guys can still hear me.
We can still hear you, yes.
yeah,
And there goes my monitors black. Write down the time, please, Boston.
I would love to, sir. At 7:29.
I'm so annoyed right now.
I'm gonna have to edit this video too.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm getting plenty of video editing experience by doing the new show, which is I set up a bunch of stuff to encode in the background, and I went away for an hour, and I came back, and it was like, yeah, man, so we still got an hour to go. I was like, no, that's not gonna work.
Okay, so my audition stopped, so I'm gonna start it again at some point here.
Okay.
My Skype has stopped, but Skype isn't recording, so I'm just gonna restart Skype really quick too. You guys obviously keep recording, and then
I'll handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. So give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'm excited to find out what your guys' new show is.
Oh, well, I mean, we can talk about it now. It's called Critical Misses. The tagline is all the hits we've missed. And it's basically we're going through all the the long form series of stuff that one of us has missed and the other one has experienced. So Like our first one is the Fast and Furious saga.
Oh,
And it's basically, I have only seen the first one and only that one in theaters, and Moon has seen and loves all of them. So it was a really good, like, first start to say, we're going to talk about, it's like a two-part thing, sort of like how Old Dog New Flicks is, where, like, I sort of, Moon talks about how he remembers the movie, and I sort of theorize what might happen in the movie. We go watch it, and then, like, the next week we record the outro, like the after stuff. So
that's fun.
yeah, we record the second half tomorrow of Fast ampersand Furious, the fourth movie. So
Have you seen it yet?
I have seen it.
It's
a film.
It's a different reaction to Tokyo Drift, and that's fine.
Yeah.
If you want to give me a 3, 2, 1 and a clap on your side, so you've got the marker on your audio, and then I'll hit record on mine.
Sure. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Hopefully that works. My microphone is back, and I need to figure out what's going on with that as well. So after the call, if you guys could help me try and diagnose this problem, I'd be greatly appreciated. Anyway, let's continue with the show.
Okay. Let's count back in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're back after just a little bit of technical difficulties here because we record with computers and they hate us. So, as I was saying, I completed I snatched up the Milky Way stone at about 6.5 hours. Moon, did you finish it?
My playtime was 19 hours.
So 100%.
Yes. When you say you completed it and I say I completed it, it means something completely different.
Yeah, you destroyed it. I just got to 60 medallions and scooped up that orb.
I have to do that again, though.
For hard mode?
New Game Plus mode, yes.
New Game Plus, yeah.
Yeah, that gives you 1 heart.
Yeah, when I unlocked that, it was sort of like, hey, New Game Plus mode. And I was like, super cool, that'll be interesting. I don't know what it is because there's sort of level select. And then it says, everything you remembered in the game is backwards and you only have 1 heart. And I was like, this is probably where I stopped playing Poi.
I'm going to do that 6-hour run because it's the 200 game score achievement and it's the only one I don't have. So.
Oh, yeah.
So I did not complete it. I definitely spent more than 6 hours in it. And I think I got to 30 some odd medallions. I got to the cave where I could not find the third light switch.
That part almost broke me. I almost didn't finish it because of that one.
I'm not going to lie. Same. I struggled with that. The first 2 levels in that cave are horrible, and then the rest of it is fine.
And the rest of them are super easy. Just that, especially that first one where it's like, okay, cool. Like there's 3 yellow cables. I can follow those. Got 1, got 2. The third one is you can't get there. You can't get up there. So I had to jump off and like triple jump up some crystals to get up there. It was.
Oh, you cheated like I did. Awesome.
Yeah, even when you turn the lights on and I figure, oh well, I'll just go back to see how to get there. No idea.
Yeah. Musum sent me a message in Discord, and I think you are right, Musum. I think you have to go do that walk through that stupid tiny planks all the way to the top, and then jump off, and then go to the left, I think it is, when you get at the top.
So I never would have gotten that. Okay. Because I got to, like, I think the second flag on those balance beams, and I probably spent 2 hours on it this afternoon, just in that area. And I was talking to a friend on the phone, which helps me not get angry at it. But like I kept telling myself, just flip on the light switch. This level will be tolerable then, and you can get through it.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, it's really weird because I feel like everything else in the game was really well designed. I feel like they did the Mario 64 stuff where here is your eventual goal, and we're going to do like a reverse sweep back through the level to where you start so you can kind of see your pathway. The levels aren't super busy, so you kind of know how to get from A to B pretty clearly, but it never punishes you for exploring. And then that level, just that first level, and I wouldn't mind it if it was just like 10% less dark. It's just so dark that it's nearly impossible to function.
Yeah. It's
Honestly, if they
so frustrating.
if they'd let the light give you just a little bit of peripheral vision,
Yeah.
like that would have immensely helped. Like being on those planks in the dark and trying to see where I'm supposed to jump to next was sometimes I'd fall off just turning so I could see if there's something to jump to. You know?
Yeah.
It was.
And if that wasn't the way to go, then all three of us didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not good odds.
I do think I remember, like, I went up there, and then you've got to do, like, some jumps across some platforms. But, of course, there's those stupid spiders there, and I think one of them knocked me off. And then I ended up doing exactly what you said, Boston, where it was, like, I got jammed in, like, a corner, so I just wall jumped up these crystals, and then got to the top, grabbed the ledge, and was like, I don't care how I got there, I got there. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, between that and those bats that invert your controls, it's just that's not. We shouldn't be doing this right now. But
yes.
I largely didn't have a problem with any of the rest of the stuff. I feel like when I finished that fourth level, the crystal caves or caverns or whatever, I was fairly ready to be done with the game, and then the game says, by the way, here's a new place to go. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, that'll be the last level. And then it says, collect a stone in all 4 of the previous worlds. It's like, all right, I recognize those symbols. Like, I saw the statue with the symbol on it off in the corner in the magma place. Like, I've sort of seen. I had to look up the ice caverns one because I had never seen that one before. And by the time I did that, I was like, all right, let's go in the door. And it's like, you have to get 60 medallions. It's like, that's okay, back out in the world. All right, let's do this. And then by the time you do that, you have this really long final level and really long final boss. And then it's done. And like by the time I was done with that, I was like, I fairly enjoyed my time here, but I'm 100% finished with this game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, they really need a couple quality of life changes in it. Like in particular, I know some of the levels they have it set up where they want you to reset the level to have an event there or something, you know.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, I feel like it should just default to letting you stay in the level once you find a medallion.
Like, especially like the key one, where it's just like I collected 7 keys by accident.
Yeah.
Let me just keep going on my and I get that they're trying to do the Mario 64 thing where it's like, in this medallion is the only time you get this special event, so that's the one you want to go do. But I feel like I agree. I feel like we've come farther than that.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, that's the thing that shocked me about this. From the moment I kicked it up to like the moment I put it down, it was like, this is clearly probably a bunch of devs around our age who had that oh my word moment with Mario 64.
Yep.
Where it's like, wait, things can be in 3 dimensions. Wait, this controls great. This feels great. It's so much fun. That joy of exploration that you get from that.
That first level in Mario 64, like the Bob-omb one, where it's just like, okay, this is radically different.
Yeah, like it feels like a bunch of people who had that moment and decided to try and make their version of it, and that's fine. You do what you need to do. Go check out Stardew Valley for a good example of I really like this genre. I'm going to make one. Right. Or Axiom Verge as another great example of people like aping their favorite genre. I think the thing with this is unfortunately games have came along a lot since like 1997 or whenever that game came out. I don't feel like it's a negative thing for this game though, because if you've got a very young child and you're trying to introduce them into the mechanics of a 3D platforming game, I'm not going to give them Uncharted. I'm not going to give them Jak and Daxter. I'm not going to give them most of these other games because they get real complicated real quick. This is very simple mechanics from start to finish. You don't really get a whole lot more skills. You don't really learn a whole lot more.
There's
everything
no
at
real
the end
fail state.
Exactly. And checkpoints are forgiven. So it's like, I think this is our generation trying to make a game for your daughter's generation, Boston, where it's like, here is a 3D platformer, let's see how you feel about it.
Boy, my kid loved watching this game too. Like, the most blue sky friendly game ever. And I agree with you that I feel like 3D platformers in general have come a long way, and I feel like I think Poi at the end of the day is fine. I think it's a solid game. It's functional. There are some glaring problems like the first medallion in the caves. But one of my larger problems with it is the hub, the sky, as they call it. I really wish... I didn't mind at the beginning, but I really wish as you start unlocking more and more stuff, just in your book, you could select a place to go. Because between turning your ship to go to another level and then flying and trying to remember which one of these other ships is exactly the place you want to go, I feel like was more frustrating than it needed to be. Especially when it's like, I just got 5 more golden gears. I never remember where this lady is. I just want to turn these in to get my last medallion. I really wish you could there was just a fast... It's not a super huge area, I will admit. I just wish there was a fast travel there, just to ease the flying frustration.
I mean, they could have just alleviated that by not making your flying a parachute mechanic where you have to fall first and then come up. Like, they could have just given you a hang glider and made it a bit more straightforward. I think that would have helped a lot. It's also... Did you guys have the camera fight you a lot whenever you were turning the wheel to go somewhere different?
100%.
Oh, on the ship, yes.
Yeah. Like, that was a source of frustration that luckily only lasted a few seconds, but it still was like, quit, just let me turn the thing.
Well, it's frustrating too, because I feel like you'd get so far on the wheel that like your character would let go of the wheel, and it's like, no, I can turn the camera, we can keep going. Like, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's clearly a small team. I'm sure that was some sort of Unity bug that they were running into, and it's like you said, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's just like, oh my god, all right, let me just grab the other side of this, let's go.
Yeah, and I don't know if they offloaded this off to anyone else, but this is only a 4-person team.
Yeah.
And like, one of those persons is the composer, and who the heck knows if they did any like programming or anything, or if they just handed the music over to the programmers, you know?
Sure, yeah.
So
I thought the music was pretty good. It never seemed memorable, but never seemed annoying.
Yeah.
Sound effects seemed fine. There were some of them that were kind of a little bit repetitive, but I mean...
So the Buckethead enemies sounded a lot like noises Patton Oswalt would make stand up to me.
Maybe he did some guest voice work. Who knows?
Yeah. So the composer is a guy named Lyndon Holland. He also did the soundtrack for Virginia, which was the only other game on his repertoire that I'd heard of. But I don't know. I thought the music was serviceable. Like, sometimes you just want something that's good. Like, I mean, ultimately you want your soundtrack to be functional, and functional, I feel like, is what he got. Like, a few of his melodies reminded me of other songs, like that first level, that kind of country western, or not that big western kind of vibe movie kind of sound he had. The melody there, I don't remember the name of the song, but that Angel in the Centerfold song from the 80s or 90s, that rock song, it was like, da, 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 like, it was almost that same riff.
You're like, wait a minute. Yeah.
But, you know, it sounded like a fully orchestrated one. I couldn't tell if it was a sample pack or an orchestra or not, but I feel like that's a good sign. So,
yeah, I do have to give the team a lot of credit. It is a small team, and I think it largely didn't feel like that. I feel like each world felt very different. The final level was really quite large. The final boss had to do something completely different than the rest of the game. And it's a game that I think feels much larger than like a 2 to 4 person team, which it really seems to be. The only thing I would say, maybe if the team makes another game, is don't make a boss where I have to kick stuff at it, because that never worked. It's just every single time.
That was the crystal boss, Musim. That's...
The mole boss, the squid boss, like I just never
Took
worked.
me a while to figure out the squid boss. I was like, what am I supposed to, like, he's not hurting me. I can't quite make the bomb, so I have to hit his tentacles, and then I have to hit him, and I have to swim because he keeps being far away from me. Like all the bosses I fought were pretty easy. It made me wonder why they were in there in the first place, but like I don't know, man. So I don't know if you guys have played a Nintendo 64 game recently, but those games make your eyes bleed. Like it is really kind of painful to look at them. So I appreciate that this game kind of gives you Nintendo 64 graphics how you remember it instead of.
And it has great draw distance, unlike N64 games.
Well, and it gives you that blocky feel without being blocky, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I really liked a lot of the character design. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked them giving you the option of a boy or a girl character right off the bat. I thought that was great.
I liked how they did that too. You just walk up to the other one, make it happen.
Yeah. It's like, hey, do you want to play as the other one? It's like, oh yeah, cool. Just hanging out on the ship.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I enjoyed Poi. I spent about 6.5 hours with it. I don't feel like my time was wasted or anything, and it's not a 10 out of 10 game, but it's good. It was functional. It was fun. I didn't run into a lot of frustrations other than the ones we already talked about, and it was kind of a good fun time.
Honestly, it's if you were using the full true scale of 0 to 10, it's a solid 5-6 out of 10. Like it's a really good middle of the road game. That, I mean, honestly, I think I mentioned at the show, I probably spent 2 weeks seriously playing this game. I wasn't bothered. I was listening in one headphone, I had a podcast on in the other, and I was just running around, jumping and booping things. And
taking up
I
artifacts.
was absolutely fine with that. It was like, cool, I'm just going to chill, enjoy my time here, try not to get distracted by the LMGs getting fired on the television right next to mine as my wife plays Warzone.
a real both ends of the spectrum sort of experience.
100%. It's like Call of Duty on one side and Poi on the other.
Yeah.
I don't think we could get further away from each other if we tried.
Jeez.
Well, and I honestly, I didn't mind the game. For a game that is a type that I have no affinity for, I honestly, most of my time with the game, I was not frustrated. It was fine. I was collecting things, and like I wasn't angry at it for making me play it, which is usually the sign.
You weren't angry at us for making you play it. That's what you really trying to say. I get you.
No, we're angry at Tokyo 42. This is much different.
It's I don't know. I think it's it's probably a good game. It's probably a game that's perfect for kids, like you guys were saying.
Yeah.
I think if I had a kid, I'd stick it in front of them. It's not story heavy. It's very like mechanic and discovery heavy. I think the discovery heavy part is probably what kept me going.
Probably good to help a kid who's learning to read too, because it's not a very complex language game too.
Yeah, it's not super verbose. It doesn't go too far. It's very simple. Yeah, I mean that's a good call. I think this is a perfect kids game in a world where we only get a couple of kids games a year, if that.
And they might be good. I mean, look at Poi and say like, yeah, that's a solid game.
I mean, let's face it. If I'm going to sit here and think to myself, all of the games I've played that could be kids games, I can't say Stardew because that's way too complicated for a kid.
Right.
I can think of Poi and Animal Crossing within the past 5 years. That's the only things that pop into the top of my head.
Right.
Odyssey even feels too complicated for a kid because Odyssey
Super
looks
Mario
complicated as insane.
It's got a lot. Yeah. All right, well, that is Poi, so let's talk about our next game, Slayaway Camp. Slayaway is all one word. Slayaway Camp came out on iOS, Android, PC, Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. Talking about
I know this one.
Other ends of the extreme. Most people have probably seen this before. This is the very much not Friday the 13th puzzle game. And I think I played a little bit of this and really enjoyed it, so I'm kind of excited to to get my hooks into this one a little bit more. Sorry, Dead by Daylight. But yes, we're
I
playing.
got you. Don't worry.
Yeah, and it's that was for the people at home. But yeah, we'll be playing Slay Away Camp for the next month. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching and listening. And we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.